Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Chris Haramsky. 2 Minnesotans are awaiting test results from the CDC to find out if they have the coronavirus, while the number of people killed from it is on the rise in China. Chinese officials say 41 people have now died, with more than 1,200 people infected. While here in the U.S., officials say there have been 2 cases confirmed so far. Tonight, our Jennifer Austin looked into what precautions are being taken here in Minnesota.
At Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, there are no direct flights to or from China. Airport spokespeople say that likely drops the risk of anyone with coronavirus making their way through the airport. Still, airport officials say they're in daily contact with the CDC. MSP does have a permanent CDC quarantine station adjacent to Customs in Terminal 1, but right now we're told it's operating as normal. Meanwhile, the Minnesota Department of Health says while the risk to Minnesotans is low, they're still prepared.
Because we're just learning about this virus, we're taking extra precautions.
They're asking healthcare providers across the state to contact them if any patients report symptoms and have recently traveled to Wuhan, China.
Minnesota is not among the states receiving many travelers from the areas of China most associated with this outbreak, but if human-to-human transmission becomes more common, it's certainly possible that we could see 1 or more cases in Minnesota.
The symptoms of coronavirus mirror those of the cold and flu. Health officials say they don't think it's contagious until symptoms appear, and at that point, it likely only spreads through close contact. And to put this into perspective, right now there are no confirmed cases of coronavirus in Minnesota, but there have been more than 1,200 people hospitalized in the state due to the flu this season. 31 people have died from the flu here, including a child. So the best advice for staying healthy might be this.
And I can't help but say, get a flu shot.
Jennifer Austin, KARE 11 News.
The two people in Minnesota being tested for possible coronavirus are not sick enough to be hospitalized. The Department of Health says they're currently isolated in their homes, though.